Let's see. Wow, this is important. Deuteronomy 30, 11 through 16. This is something I really need to hit on. This commandment I command you today is not too hard for you. Neither is it far off. It's not in heaven that you'll say, who's going to go to heaven and get us? That we can hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that you'll say, who's going to go over the sea for us and bring it back that we can hear it and do it? The word is very near you. It is in your mouth. It is in your heart, so you can what? Do it. Okay? He says the word is very near to you. It's in your mouth. It's in your heart, so that you can do it. And then he says, I set before you today life, good, death, evil. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, I command you today by loving the Lord your God. Listen to the commandments. To love the Lord your God. Walk in his ways. And how do you walk in his ways? By keeping his commandments, his statutes, his rules, and then you'll live and multiply. Everyone today thinks you'll be dead by doing it. He says you'll live and multiply, and the Lord your God is going to bless you in the land that you're earning to take possession of it. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to talk for a little bit here, but I want you to get this. I'll try to talk slow. What this is saying, all the commandments are within reach. All the commandments are doable. We may have to put our heads together to figure out how. We may have to search our hearts to figure out why, but the commandments, all of them are within reach. Now, is God cruel? Would God be so cruel that he would ask us to do things we couldn't achieve? I mean, think about it. I command you to have blue eyes when they're green. Sorry, it's not my ability. So when we think God is going to command us to do something that's impossible to do and then condemn us to hell forever for not doing it, that tells you how absurd that is. Now, all of us do fail because we are human beings. Okay? But we have to bear in mind the ultimate purpose of each and every one of the commandments. Why did God create them? So that we would draw closer to him. And when we experience that closeness with him, then we met that God's challenge that he's put before us. We successfully perform the commandment. We fulfill God's will in our life. We can say, Yahoo. Now, follow this. Today, many people feel the need to go to extremes, to challenge themselves, to prove to themselves their own worth. But the reward for all these self-imposed challenges is never realized. If the result isn't a greater closeness to God, what good is your accomplishment? All right? The emptiness still remains unfulfilled. Our real challenges are not in heaven that you would say, who's going to go up and get it? Okay? The real challenge is what we're going through right here, right now. We all have our heroes, but they can't fulfill for us our own personal responsibilities and needs. We may follow some star and try to find who we are out in attaching ourselves to that person. It doesn't work. And what are we really searching for? Whether we realize it or not, what each one of us as an individual is searching for is not in outer space. It's not across the ocean. Multi-billionaires amusing themselves with building rocket ships to fly to Mars don't do a thing for us. And it's even highly questionable whether they're truly accomplishing anything for themselves as far as their inner worth. How many stars reach the movie star level? Or how many sports people hit the final, the NFL or the NBA, and then they screw it up a month later with drugs or whatever because they're not fulfilled? If it's not bringing you closer to God, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you will never be fulfilled. The search for who we are is within each one of us. It takes place within a world that God has created specifically to help you in your journey. Many of the signposts are in the Torah's commandments. Follow the path to which the signposts point to discover a piece of who you are. The Torah commandments will never lead us astray. On the contrary, they will always lead us back to ourselves, our true selves, which is always near to God. Okay, now comes the heavy part. Buckle in. How many of you know the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath? Okay. That means all the commandments in the Torah were tailored for us. We were not made for the commandments, as God didn't need to create us because he needed help by people to be put under a heavy load of his. Okay? So we were made for the commandments. You don't build a home and say, okay, now I got this home with 5 bedrooms, so I guess I need a family to fill it. No, you want a family, and you have a family, and you build your house. Now, listen to this. This is what is heavy. How do you know there's trillions of stars, and God calls them all by name? The few people on this planet, as many as they are, God knows each one of us by name. Now, how many of you know God would be the greatest chess player in the world? Even with all the moving pieces, he's got it all orchestrated, right? Okay, this is going to be shocking. God is able to orchestrate every event on earth to deliver to you specifically. Not you as the group. I'm saying to each one of you, I want you to hear this, that God is able to orchestrate every event on earth to deliver to you an entirely customized set of experiences and choices for you to make. Despite the billions of other people on earth today, he sets your individual circumstances before you just as he did for Adam. No one has ever had or will ever have your life. This is simultaneously empowering as well as frightening. Empowering because clearly we are critically important to God, because he is orchestrating the entire universe to provide you as an individual with a customized set of choices that in their totality no one else will ever have. And it's frightening because it is as if the whole universe is depending upon you. Which means your experiences that you are experiencing, God has decided that every single other person who's here would be part of your experience. You're like Adam and Eve. All of history, everyone you're standing by today was customized for you. All your life experiences. That's why we're going to close with this. I don't have time to go into the Haftorah. But Deuteronomy 30:19 and 20, it says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you that I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Please choose life, that you and your offspring may live, loving the Lord your God, obeying his voice, holding fast to him. He is your life. He is your length of days, that you can dwell in the land the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them.